Hi, welcome back. This is Amy Ford, and this class is Introduction to Microsoft Excel 2007. This is part 2 of the class, so you will want to have seen part 1 before you start this part of the class. As a reminder, you're going to want to have Excel open on your computer because you'll be switching back and forth between the video and Excel to try out some of these new skills. And if you need to pause the video, click on the pause button in the bottom left corner of the video screen. Another quick reminder, there are just some tools available for the online video class. A handout of all of these slides, so don't worry about writing things down. There's a quick reference card, that gives you hints and tricks for Excel 2007. An exercise to do at the very end of the class, and also some links to computer tutorials so that you can continue your computer learning on your own. Okay, in this class we're going to be learning about the ribbon bar. That is what has replaced the traditional menu structure in older versions of Excel. We are also going to go over some vocabulary associated with Excel so that when I use a certain term, everybody's going to know exactly what I mean. So let's start with the ribbon bar. And this is a graphic of the entire ribbon bar. You'll see it at the top of the screen in Excel. In the first part, we talked about the Office button. So now we're going to go on and talk about the Quick Access toolbar. So we're going to move over to Excel. Now that we're here in Excel, you can see that right next to the Office button, up at the top here, it's got a few icons, is the Quick Access toolbar. And this has some of the most important tools in Excel. First is the Save button, so that you don't have to dig through the Office button menu to save things quickly. You can see that it looks like a little floppy disk. As a side note though, for ultimate speed, using keyboard shortcuts for saving or undoing the last thing that you did, or lots of other commands, keyboard shortcuts are the way to go. And the most popular keyboard shortcuts are collected for you on the Excel 2007 Quick Reference Guide, which is available on this site. But anyway, back to the Quick Access toolbar. The tools Undo and Redo are also located here. Okay, so if you need to go back and undo the last thing that you did, very easy to do so right up top in the left-hand corner. Right next to the toolbar is a drop-down menu that you can use to customize the toolbar. And I like to add Print Preview to the Quick Access toolbar because I'd rather see how my document will print out than waste paper when it doesn't come out right. So printing can sometimes be tricky with Excel. However, you can customize the toolbar to show whatever that you like. So now let's look at the command tabs and the different groups that are on them. You can see that the functions in Excel are put into groups of similar functions, and that these groups are linked together on the command tabs. The tabs are up at the top here, and they look kind of like tabs on file folders. That's why they're called tabs, right up here at the top. And it's pretty intuitive, and it's nice to see that a lot of functions that used to be hidden in menus are out on display. The Home tab has a lot of common groups, like the clipboard here, font and other styles, alignment, number, different formats, different styles, things to do to different cells, and also some editing tools here. And moving over to the Insert tab, we'll click on the tab up here at the top. Here we have groups of things you can insert, like tables or illustration, charts, links, and text. Lots of different tools here. And the Page Layout tab, click on that. It has options for setting up your page, giving it different themes, scaling it, some different sheet options, and also some arrangements so that you can look at your page in different ways. Next, on the Formula tab, let's click over to that. You get access to a ton of different mathematical functions and different ways to check your formulas for accuracy. There's a function library, some formula auditing and calculation tools here. Under the Data tab, you can sort, you can filter your data, you can get data from different sources. Under the Review tab, these are ways to collaborate with other people while proofreading your spreadsheet. And these are tools that you can share with other people. And then the View tab down here at the end, it changes the ways in which you can see your spreadsheet so you can look at it in a way that works for you. So if you don't see a command on the group where you expect it to be, you can use the dialog box launcher, which is in the bottom right-hand corner of a group. Let's try that on the Home tab here. And each one of these small boxes is a group. And if you don't see something that you were expecting to see there, this dialog box launcher is in the bottom right-hand corner of the group. And if we click on that, you'll get a pop-up box, and it's going to give you some more advanced functions than the ones that you already see. You can see that there's a lot more functions here for formatting than was available on the group on the Ribbon tab over here. Now sometimes when you're working with something special like pictures, Excel's going to give you extra commands in a Context tab. So I'm going to insert a picture very quickly. Actually, let's do this. Let's do Clip Art instead. Okay, and I've put a picture into my document here. And you can see the Context tab on the top of the Format menu. And this gives you some extra tools when you're working with a particular kind of object. And you can see that we have some special tools for working with pictures. For example, recoloring and changing the picture, different styles, arrangements, and sizes. So these are some new functions that showed up because we were working with a particular thing that is a picture. Okay, we are almost done with the lecture-based part of the class. So let's take a look at a few terms that are commonly used with Excel that are going to help everybody stay on track. Okay, so the first term is the workbook, which is the document that you're working on. So everything that is right in here is your workbook. So it can be made up of more than one sheet, which is what you see in the middle of the screen here with all the grid lines. And that's what you're typing your data and formulas into. At the bottom of the grid lines, you can see several tabs for Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3 so that you can switch between sheets if you need to. Now another term that we'll be using is cell, and a cell is the rectangle inside the grid lines. It's each individual box that makes up the sheet. Now each cell has a name that is the particular coordinates of the cell in the grid, and the name is made up of the column, which is seen across the top of the grid. Here, you can see that here. Okay, it's named with letters. And the row, okay, up and down the right side of the grid. Okay, and it's named with numbers. So when you click in a cell, you are going to make it the active cell, and you can tell that it's the active cell by seeing the dark line that's around the cell. And then the coordinates of the cell are going to show up in the name box that's right up at the top of the grid, just above the grid. It's up in the left corner. And then the last but very important term to know is the formula bar. Okay, it's right over here. Okay, and this is where you create and edit formulas and cell values, okay, which is what we're going to be getting into in the next part of the class. Okay, so a quick review. What we've learned in this class, we've learned about the Quick Access toolbar. We've learned about the ribbon bar tabs, the groups, and the extra commands. And we've gone over some common terms that are used in Excel. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned something new. The next video we're going to go over entering data into the spreadsheet and editing the data that you've already typed, and we're going to learn how to resize columns and rows so they fit your data. We're going to have a lot more hands-on work in the next class, so be ready to dive right in.